Alrighty. So, let's start today's session with everyone rolling a d20 to see who will do a recap for everyone.
Oh no.
Oh no, not my favorite dice.
D20. Okay, let's go. Oh no. Thank God.
Alright, Zach.
Oh no.
What happened last Sunday?
Alright, what happened last Sunday was good old Dylan and Joan found Mr. Green entering the barn and basically he was doing something shady. Joan enters the barn to see what Lord Green is doing. To that, he accidentally makes a large noise trying to open the hatch, as if I believe. And then he sneaks back to the... What?
Keep going.
And then we... my recalling memory is not very great. As it seems... basically... Lord Green comes out, and Joan gets out of the barn before Lord Green comes back up. And then Dylan disguises himself as Simon, and walks down there as Joan keeps himself above the hatch with a crossbow armed. Lord Green spots Simon, or Dylan, aka, and as that said, Joan hits Lord Green. I'm having a sped day, it looks like. Sorry about all this.
That's fine.
So, Lord Green gets spotted out holding a knife behind his back, and when Dylan keeps asking Lord Green what he was doing down there, he kept denying it to the point where the jig was up, and Joan sniped basically Lord Green in the kneecap, and we made a joke about that one, knocking him unconscious. And then we later find out that Lord Green's wife is a lycanthropy or a werebearer, but we don't find that out until after taking Mr. Green to his bedroom. And we then find out that Lord Green has a book of rituals that will hopefully cure his wife of, or not cure his wife, but let her have control of her lycanthropy. And so after that, Dylan goes down. Joan locks up the trap door just so that nobody's trying to get in, and sleeps on the bale of hay as does the ritual downstairs, studies and does the ritual. He successfully does the ritual very well, and at that point, they get Lord Green to come back to meet his wife, who's now no longer a lycanthropy. And then we meet our new adventurers, Marvell and Callan, and they get let into the town. Callan has paperwork to prove that he's from the Adventurers League, looking for a group of people for Dylan and Joan. They do find Dylan and Joan with the caravan. Callan made a very fine meal of gravy. And with that, he gets very annoyed with Charlie for the fact that he tried sticking a finger into his pot of delicious gravy. And then we get to the point where Joan and Dylan are heading over to the trapdoor to reveal or to talk to Lord Green, but Callan decides to try to join them to talk to Lord Green, and instead of all three of them going to Lord Green, Dylan and Callan go to the house where Lord Green gets gets waken up by Joan and taken to Charlie, and then Charlie is going to complete his bet of riding the bear, and that's where we are now.
Yes. So, Lord Green and Bethany, the night prior, or actually no, early in the morning, were escorted by Joan to go see the result of Dylan's work. And then everyone kind of just went to bed. And Mr. Green and I believe it was just Mr. Green came from the barn and kind of saw Charlie, and Charlie took the opportunity to finally settle his bet, which his bet was that he could beat a black bear at wrestling. And we were leaving it to see if Charlie can accomplish such a thing. So, with that being said, let me get my...
It's time to duel.
Duel. Exactly. Ouch. Hey kids, hard objects are hard. Don't bash your hand into them. It's bad for you. Alright, where was Charlie's stat block again? Yes, here it is. Alright. So essentially how this is going to work is, obviously, it's just going to be grapple and acrobatics checks. They're versus checks. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the rolls, and then based on the results, I will tell the tale. Let me find the stats for a black bear. There we go, black bear. Okie dokie. So, let's go. Alright, so this one will be Charlie, this one will be the bear. Alright, so You, all of you are standing out in the open whilst what happens is Charlie unleashes the black bear, which immediately lunges at him and tackles him to the ground. It paws at him and tries to bite him, but thankfully to his keen reflexes of the hunt, he's able to dodge the attacks and is able to slip out. He then attempts to try to tackle the creature, in which its pure built-in weight was too much even for Charlie's strength. The bear, with Charlie wrapped, clinging onto it, rolls over and lands on top of him, winding him. It then rolls up onto its feet and goes to bash at him, and which he's able to roll out of the way. It is then at this point the creature then brings Charlie down to the ground by hitting him in the back of the head with a paw, knocking him unconscious. And as the bear now kind of turns to all of you, it roars in fright and then turns to run. Does anyone want to take action?
And are me and Dylan here, or are we still in the house?
You didn't go in the house.
Oh, we didn't?
No.
Okay.
I don't
thought we
believe you did.
From last session.
I don't believe you did.
Because I was walking with Dylan and Joan, and then Dylan and Joan were whispering to each other, and then
And they,
we separated.
yeah, they were saying, should we see, should Callan see Lord Green's state? And I was like, yes, you should show Callan Lord Green's estate.
Oh. Okay, so yeah, you two are still in the house.
Right.
You don't get to see any of the fun.
Sadly.
It's probably for the best. I probably wouldn't have agreed with this. I thought he was going to try to ride the bear.
I thought he was going to too, but yeah.
Probably not.
He might have
Exaggerated a little.
exaggerated a little, bolstered a bit.
Yeah, I don't
Okay, so
think
the
Charlie
bear's
won.
running.
Lord Green is gonna say, we should probably kill it before it goes off and hurts someone else.
Before he does, I would like to use Spirit Seeker.
Oh.
Yeah, your path is that seeks attunement with the natural world, giving you kinship with beasts. At third level, when you adopt this path, you gain the ability to cast the beast sense and speak with animals spells. I use that?
I believe those are rituals.
Oh wait, is that are you the path of the totem?
Yes. That is
Yeah, that's a ritual.
How long will that take?
10 minutes.
10 minutes.
I would rather not kill the bear. Or not have the bear be killed, because it technically hasn't killed anyone yet, so it goes against Leon's morals.
I mean, you could technically just hit it until it goes unconscious. You don't have to kill it.
True. Good.
But what is better? To severely wound a creature, making it suffer and pain in this mortal life of it, or just to put it out of its misery?
That is a deep question.
If a dog doesn't obey, do you beat it till it goes unconscious to make it follow?
If you're a good person.
No, you give it a treat.
What?
I mean, you could always try animal handling and just be like,
You
be
could.
calm, bear.
Oh yeah, that would work perfectly. Who's good at animal handling?
It just so happens Kellen's proficient in that, but you know what? He's not there.
What about Joan? I know Joan's there. No,
What
she
about
isn't.
Joan?
Never mind. Wait, no, is she? I think she is.
Joan is just behind Lord Green, yeah.
Is she good at animal handling?
Maybe. She looks woodsy.
Ugh. Alright then, Leon's probably going to turn to John and be like, it probably wouldn't be a ethical decision to just kill the bear. He hasn't done anything wrong quite just yet.
You don't know.
mean, like
Maybe
a
you
fair
did a
Charlie.
tax fraud.
It spared
Well-
Charlie.
Well, I'd ask Charlie, but he's a little unconscious right now. But
He's
I
not
do
dead.
agree with my friend, Lord Green. Perhaps there's something else we could do with.
While you guys are discussing this, Bethany, Charlie's wife, is trying to keep her sons calm and herself calm as they believe that Charlie is dead.
Oh.
And you guys are sitting.
Do I recognize that Charlie's unconscious, not dead?
Give me a perception.
Nope.
Yeah, unfortunately not. You can't tell if he's breathing or not.
All right.
What about Leon? Should I do a perception as well?
Sure, you go ahead.
Oh.
With your perception, you do see the slightest movement of breathing.
Lord Green, can you stand?
He looks at you, and he goes on one leg.
Lovely. I'll be right back. And I run over to Charlie.
He loses his balance and just kind of sits on the ground.
It's called a. Jeez, this guy doesn't know what crutches are.
He didn't have any. So you run over to Charlie, and this black bear, it's basically like slowly like inching backwards away from everyone, and as you approach Charlie, it's going to attack you.
Oh.
Joan.
I thought the bear ran off.
It went to turn to run off, but it
I have a
hasn't quite run
question.
off yet.
Would me and Callan hear all this commotion from inside?
That is a very good question.
Roll.
Make a perception
What's
check.
your passive perceptions?
13.
12.
You both would probably hear. Well, you both can hear the commotion of a bear. A black
that's
bear
good.
roaring.
Sorry, I'd like to modify a little. If the bear is still within like 5-10 feet of Charlie, I'd like to approach until I'm 20 feet from the bear and then just kind of slow down.
Okay. So it since it went to turn to make a dash, and then it heard something or someone approaching it. It quickly turns back around to make an offensive attack, to make an attack, and it just eyes you as you're like slowing down.
Hearing like the commotion, I like move the curtains. Assuming windows have curtains in the house, and I'm like, crap, the bear got out. Hey, Callan, do you know anything about calming down bears?
I think so. Well,
Well, today is your time to shine.
I see.
Your time has come.
No time has come.
I
This is your
open-
destiny.
I open the door, then, to start running down the hill.
While they're doing their thing, I'm going to just slowly approach the bear, kind of crouch down a little with my hands out in front of me. Nice and easy, bear. I'm not going to hurt you. Is it moving toward me or away from me or just holding its ground?
It's holding its ground.
Got it.
So, Callan.
I'm going...
Oh, go
Yeah.
ahead. Go ahead, Joan.
I was just gonna say I'm going to approach until I'm about 10 feet from the bear, like keeping out of its reach unless it run towards me, but just kind of slowly approach, very slowly.
Okay. So Callan, you step out of Lord Green's manor, and from the front porch you can see this scene where Charlie is on the ground, possibly unconscious or maybe bleeding out. You can't quite tell. On one side is the black bear that is a few feet away from him, staring down, and the hairs on its back are like are frilled up as if it is ready to attack. And you see Joan is 10 feet away from Charlie with the hand held out, obviously trying to calm and ease the black bear. But you can tell that, well, everyone can really tell that it's not really working. The closer he gets, the more agitated this black bear is, and you can tell that if Joan moves any closer, the black bear is going to pounce for an attack.
I see. How many feet away directly am I from the bear?
You're probably, I'd say, we'll say 40 feet.
Perfect. I'm going to waver my hand in front of me, and I'm going to say, Expectrum Holtus.
Oh boy.
Very subtle.
Wonder where I've heard that from.
I have a question. Doesn't the animal have to know, like, understand human talk to be able to take a command?
Okay, that's apparently not how you roll that. Okay.
Let me...
Yeah, I think command has to be understood. There's a minimum intelligence or something.
I don't know if this bear is smarter than the average bear.
No, there's a lot of like canthropy going around.
I take offense to that.
So. when I was reading the spell, it said creature. So.
Very nice impression.
Let me look. PHB.
Command.
You speak one word command to a creature you can see within range. The target must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or follow the command on its next turn. So.
Hold on. Saving throw or the follow command is his next turn. The spell has no effect if the target is undead, if it doesn't understand your language, or if your command is directly harmful to it. So therefore, command will not work.
I see. Alright then.
So Joan is going to just kind of gesture down at Charlie and look up at the bear. I mean you no harm. I'm going to help my friend.
Give me an animal handling.
Oh no. Oh no. 6.
Oh no!
Oh, Joan. Joan. And then, that was the last we ever saw Charlie breathe.
Just
Hey, it's better.
disappeared off the face of the earth.
It's better than being eaten by a shambling horror.
It's better, in my opinion.
I don't know, a shambling horror, that's a story. A bear is just that's a normal thing to happen.
Alright, so
Believe-
you do that, and it goes... And it just starts charging towards you, and we're gonna roll initiative.
Oh
Oh,
goodness.
nice. Fun.
At least I know it's charging at me.
Oh, that's not what I meant to do. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. Alright, pulling up the map. We're gonna be...
Charlie's just taking a nice nap, while we have to do all of the dirty work.
I know, right? Why couldn't he be better at wrestling bears?
I know,
Yeah,
right?
how do you get the bear in the first place? Is what I want to know.
We'll have to ask
Maybe
him.
maybe he did better on his checks.
Yeah, he wrestled it the first time, but not the second.
How do I select? I can't select my token.
If you can't select it,
Nope.
give me a second. Oh my goodness, Google, stop with this autofill BS. Oh, there we go. I picked the right one. Now you should be able to.
How do tokens work?
Give me 1 second. I gotta put you guys. All right. So you're like, we'll say over here. It's gotta be well, that's not 40 feet. That's close enough. So Dylan, you're over here as well with him. Joan is there. Go over here and Attica. Oh wait, I already have Charlie downloaded onto my. Choose a file. Ah! Don't want anyone in my stream to see my.
So can I go ahead and roll?
Yeah, like everyone can roll. I'm just setting everything up real quick.
Initiative. Oh, what? Hold up. He's going wrong.
So what you do is you select your token, and then you go on your character sheet, and then there should be an area that says initiative. Just click on initiative, and then it should just auto roll for you.
If you click on the word, it'll roll, and then it'll track in the turn order.
Yeah.
Okay. I have to find it is then.
By the way, everyone who's watching, this is Charlie, drawn by our very own Adea.
Okay. It'd be me.
Very nice.
Oh my goodness, Charlie's a giant.
Ah, Charlie went Mecha Charlie.
We are all Charlie.
Oi,
We're all set.
you fucked with the wrong Scot.
What's the initiative thing? Oh no.
If you have your character sheet up, click on the character sheet tab, and then it should be in the top, next to armor class and speed.
There it is. Got it.
I'm gonna make you regret that.
Did you click on your token before you hit initiative?
What do you mean? When I click my token, it's not letting me in.
Oh my god, stop, Google. It's the most annoying thing ever. Alright, there you go. Now you guys should be able to select your tokens and do initiative.
Are we level 3?
Ah.
Oh,
Nope, not
nice.
that.
What?
Here, I'll just
Which
do
one's
this.
initiative?
I'll enter it manually. So Zach, you got a 3.
I got a 6.
You got a 6.
Where's your dexterity?
Oh, where's your dexterity? That was more Irish.
That's better than mine, so it's okay.
Well, the Scottish, you gotta be more. You can't be Pepe. Alright, and the black bear rolled a outstanding.
1, please.
0?
0? That's good. That sounds good to me.
Yeah, it doesn't get a turn.
Oh.
I got
Alright,
an 11.
Joan. It is your turn.
Oh goodness. Oh. And the bear is charging at me.
Yes. It's the bear.
Oh, cool. would like to take the dodge out and hop in front of Charlie and protect him with my body.
Okay.
Actually,
Sweet
no.
of you.
I'd like to take the dodge bonus action through patient defense and spend a key point.
All right.
And I'd like to punch the bear in the face.
All right. Make a
Just pissing in the face of God, aren't you? Punching his beautiful.
make an attack
Yep.
roll.
Oh, I never thought I was going to punch. There it is.
That is definitely a hit. You are definitely not the father.
7 points of bludgeoning damage.
Holy smokes! All right, so you bop the bear right on the nose, causing one of its teeth to break.
I didn't want to do this.
Poor bear. It's been locked in a cage for like so long. And this guy tried to wrestle it, and now this like androgynous chick is just punched it square in the face.
Oh, Boo-boo!
So sorry, Yogi.
I did not ask for this.
Poor bear.
Winnie the Pooh's
The
getting
bear
his
and the
arse
maiden
kicked.
fair.
All right, anything else, Joan?
9.
All right, it's the bear's turn. The bear
Da
is
bear.
like, bears. It's like, oh
Da
yeah,
bear.
two can play at that game. It's gonna swipe at you with a claw, getting a 15.
I have dodge.
That's
I
right.
think that. Yeah.
Rolling an 11.
Nice. That is a big miss. 'Cause the 15 would have just hit.
Nice. 16.
16 total?
Yes.
Yeah, it misses. Because I punched it. So I have 15 armor class plus 2 for an unarmed strike.
Nice. You're a Kinsei monk, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
I can say.
Okay. Dylan.
I'm gonna go here, and I'm going to play a song on my harmonica to try and calm.
All right. Go ahead and give me an animal handling. We'll make this an animal handling.
Dang it! It can't be performance. It's my harmonica.
It's performing to a bear, though.
Music is universal.
All right. Make a performance.
Thank you. That one.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Jeez.
Wait, don't I? Wait. I have inspiration. I can re-roll that.
Go ahead if you want to use it.
$18.
Nice. So you start playing the harmonica, and you play it so good that the bear just starts getting into the. No, I was gonna make a Jungle Book joke where he was gonna start singing before the bare necessities. No. So this bear is currently in its bloodlust mode, and when you play the harmonica, it is enough to distract it momentarily, to essentially where it's no longer focused on Joan, it's focused on you.
Mission accomplished.
Well done.
It doesn't look any more calmer though.
I didn't really calm it as much as confuse it.
And confused.
Can you imagine telling this? Can you imagine like this story? This bear telling this story to other bears? Like they locked me in a cage, brought me to this weird place, let me out.
They locked me in a cage. They didn't feed me any snackaroos. And then
I get out.
And
Sorry.
then when I got out, a big hairy man tried to tackle me. Oh, and then some woman, she punched me right in the face. Oh, did she have a punch?
Sounds terrible, Yogi.
I'll tell you what, Boo-boo. And then some men came across the corner with a harmonica.
And it was quite a harmonica.
And I hate what's gonna happen next.
Anything else, Dylan?
No, that's it. That's it.
Alrighty.
That's
Marvel.
probably the most bard thing I've ever done.
Playing a harmonica.
To stop the bear.
Yeah.
Marvel.
Yeah. Alright, so since Leon, no longer Marvel because, you know, he's undercover.
Oh.
Yeah, it's okay. But Leon, after seeing the bear like go to attack Joan, he gets angry, and so I like to rage.
Alright, so that's your bonus action.
Oh, a barbarian who doesn't know how to rage? That'd be the saddest story.
I would be sorry, really sorry.
Isn't that just a fighter,
That
though?
would be a hilarious story. See a barbarian with no rage.
The pacifist. It's just.
I actually have a player who has a barbarian who doesn't rage. What she does is she gets super hysterically sad, so she cries
Oh.
and just starts slaughtering
Sobbing?
stuff in her hysterical
Sadness.
I was like, that's an interesting take on rage. That sounds more like crippling depression.
Yeah, but it's not you're not the one who's being crippled.
But
How do I
Shut up.
rage?
all right, so what are you doing,
Don't hurt
Leon?
the bear.
How do I activate rage again? Because I'm new.
Basically, all it really is with rage. Let me. Why do I? Oh, because I'm searching bear in the handouts and stuff. I'll pull out your character sheet real quick. So, if you look above the box where it has all of your feats and stuff, like your dark vision, keen senses, yada yada, there is a box that says class resource. There's 3. That's a tracker. So since you're raging, you now have 2 rages left. And if you scroll down, there's a section that says rage, and you can should be able to click on rage. Oh, the speech bubble. You see where next to it has a gear in a speech bubble. If you push the speech bubble, it'll. There you go. And then you can read it, and it'll tell you exactly what rage does. So for 1 minute,
Don't.
you have resistance to all damage except for psychic. And you also have.
Oh, right, because you're a bear totem.
And you have advantage on strength checks and strength saving throws. And.
Wait, you're a.
And I think you get a +2 to your damage as well.
You're a bear totem, and you're gonna attack your bear friend.
Yeah, and I feel very sorry.
Oh, never mind.
Just spread. Don't hurt the bear.
Kill confirmed.
Well,
All right,
What is
Leon,
that?
what you gonna do? Don't let Dylan get
I'm
in your
gonna,
way.
I'm
All right.
gonna run past Dylan and possibly knock him over because honestly I don't care about him. I don't know him.
Oof.
You want to move your
Ow.
token? However many feet you want to move. Each square is 5 feet, and you have 35 feet of movement, I believe, or 30.
Yeah, slow people.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna move all the way over here. 1.
All right. So you still have your action. What do you want to do with it?
I'm going to hit the bear.
With your great axe?
Animal abuse. I'm so sorry. Yes, with my greatsword.
Oh,
This is
with
the
your
most
greatsword.
confusing. This is
Now,
the most confusing ass.
The next question I want to ask is, as a level 3 barbarian, you have a feat called Reckless Attack. And what that does is it gives you advantage on your, I believe it's on all of your attacks on that turn.
I think that's right, yeah.
And so you get advantage, but any attack on you gets advantage.
Wait, you're trying to kill me. I see what you're
No,
doing.
I'm just letting you know.
Alright, yeah.
Yeah,
I'll
that's an
also
option.
do that.
You want a reckless attack?
Is it a bonus?
Nope, it's not.
No.
It doesn't take anything. It's just you just basically say you're doing it, And but you have to say it before you roll.
I'm doing it.
Alrighty. So on your character sheet, it's already set to advantage. Never mind. So go ahead and go to your attacks and spellcasting box and click on Greatsword, and then it'll roll for you.
Okay, let's do this.
Big money, big money. 24. That is definitely a hit. So push on Greatsword on the chat box, and that'll roll your damage. And I believe it should also put your rage there too. Yep. So you have a +2 to rage. Holy shit. Okay. So that's 50.
I want to point out, you have the choice to say, like, if you get it to
Yes.
0, you can say killing it or just knocking
Yes.
it unconscious.
So do you want to actually put it down, or do you want to knock it unconscious?
I want to knock it unconscious. I'm upset with it, yeah, but I don't want to kill it. Not
So
like that.
you guys have only seen Leon as this frail, handsome young fellow who's fairly lean and got some muscle to him. And then all of a sudden you hear him go, and then he charges at the bear, takes his greatsword, and slams it on the top of the bear, flat, so it's more of a bludgeoning weapon, and it just goes pong like a frying pan, and the bear just goes limp. And we are out of initiative.
My boy. Look how they massacred my boy.
At that point,
I'm gonna.
oh, go ahead.
I'm gonna go walk. I'm gonna walk over to Charlie
Mhm.
and cast Cure Wounds. I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's certainly one way to do it.
So,
It's not
you go up to
dead,
him, go ahead and cast your Cure Wounds on him. And Lord Green, Bethany and the two kids come up to, like, kind of come up to you, and as Charlie awakens, and he goes, "Oh, did I win?
I don't think.
Did I at least get on top of it?"
More like it got on top of you.
He looks over.
You did well, Charlie.
He looks over and sees it's got like a big bump on its head, like in the cartoons, and he goes, "What the hell happened to it? Did I do that?"
Oh, yes. Set to
Apple's
sleep.
trying to
Wait,
roll
hold on.
the
What?
Black
dice.
due to the gasiness.
What'd you say, Leon? You're kind of cutting out.
Leon's just like, oh yes, definitely. You must have blacked out due to how awesome you were.
All right, give me a deception check. So go ahead on.
Not gonna work. Though.
Yeah. Do you know how to roll that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I know how. Yeah.
I'm just crying over the bear.
Oh.
He was just a boy.
He was just a boy. So you say that.
It's not dead yet.
And Charlie just like narrows his brows at you, and he says, "You don't have to bullshit me. I knew I lost. Mr. Green, I guess I owe you some money, eh?" "Nah, it's fine, Charlie. It's fine. You're all right. I don't want you putting your family in debt over a stupid bet." "Why will I have to thank you, Lord Green? You know, you're not as bad as many of the others say you are."
Who says that? That's the worst thing to tell somebody, like the worst compliment. You're not as bad as everybody says you are. It's like, wait, what are people saying?
Lord Green just kind of raises a brow. And one of the kids, actually both of the boys, as you cast your magic, Callan, you notice that as the magical light of soul leaves the palm of your hands, the two boys stare at your hands with awe, and they both as their mother is in tears. They kind of tug on her sleeves, and they both go, "Mom, Mom, Mom, did you see that? Did you see what he did?" "Yes, boys, I see what he did. He healed your father. Now help your poor father up so we can get him over there and attend to his wounds." But Ma, he just used some of So's gifts. You see that? He must be a priest." And all of you know, everyone here.
Did I hear that?
Oh yeah.
I turn over the kid and says, "I once was, not anymore. Old habits die hard, young."
So everyone here would know that priests by law are the only ones that are allowed to possess any spells or magical prowess worth healing. Because
With healing?
For healing. Because it is said that it is the gift of Sol himself that grants healing. So, and the other thing is, the priest, essentially by the religion, is not allowed to harm another and is not allowed to kill another. They're basically pacifists. Just to keep that as a note. And Bethany kind of forces her kids to help their father up, and then she looks at you, Callan, and says, "So is that what you are still? Are you still the priest of Sol?"
Depends.
Well, what do you mean?
Long past, really.
Well, you can't just be casting... You just can't be using the Lord's gifts like that out in the open. Especially if you're not a part of the monastery anymore.
Would you rather your husband be injured than healed?
Well, no, bud.
Who will heal the bear?
I'm just...
Right as he
I'm
says
just
that,
trying-
Leo just starts dragging the bear out of Lord Green's estate.
I'm just trying to warn you. If I mean, I'm sure you already know, but I thank you,
You're welcome.
Father. And she bows, and she said, "Blessed be the Lords of Life." And then she turns to go tend to her husband.
Callan then, after they leave, Callan pulls out his holy symbol for a little quick glance and then puts it back. Do I need to roll like a stealth check? Because I try to...
Yeah, give me a sleight of
roll.
hand.
Alright.
This will be against everyone's passive perception. Anyone have a 15
Well-
or higher?
Notice a thing.
14.
No, Dylan doesn't have that much passive. And then neither does Leon. Okay, so nobody sees you pull out the symbol for a split second.
Alright.
Oh, what do we do with the bear? When it wakes up, it's not going to be happy.
Well,
we could turn it into rations.
Could.
I pull out my steak knives out of my
But then again,
cooking utensils.
I knocked it out. I didn't want to kill it, obviously. So
Could we
if we could
just?
find some way to get it out of here, that'd be great.
Do we want to make some bear stew?
I would greatly like it if we did not make the bear into food.
what you could do is intervenes Mr. Green as he kind of limps or kind of hops over. What you could do, load her back up into Charlie's wagon and take it outside and then release it.
Yeah, we could do that.
Then he looks
That's a
at
good
Joan
idea.
and he says, if you want to come with me, I'll take you to where I got your reward.
It's just behind the shack. Also, if you guys hear the sound of a shotgun, just ignore it.
Guys hear the sound of a 12-gauge slug entering inside the skull of a woman. It's fine. It's not what that is. It's fine.
I like he's trying to get revenge for being capped.
Lord Callan turns to Lord Green and bows and then holds out his hand to say, "Good day, Mr. Lord Green."
Morning.
Does he shake my hand or no?
You see that his hands are kind of occupied trying to keep himself balanced.
I see.
Very well, Lord Green. Let us go and retrieve the payment. And I'll kind of slide one shoulder underneath his.
So, are we gonna put the bear back in the cage?
And Leon will try to, put the bear into
Yeah.
the caravan.
You can easily drag it and kind of just lift it up and then roll it back into the cage where he had it. So Joan, you help Lord Green into his manor, in which he takes you into through a door that is under the stairs that goes to the second floor, which goes to a wine cellar. When you help him down the steps, you see there are shelves of wine bottles that are decades. Tells you some of them are even centuries old. He then takes you to one side where there is a safe. And he asks you to help him kneel down, for the safe is probably about maybe 3 feet tall.
Okay, I help him to the ground. Or whatever angle he needs.
So he, when he puts his four fingers and then his thumb onto what looks like a dial, and there are these impressions into what looks like some sort of a disc that is protruding out from the face of the safe. And when he places it on there, there's a glowing light that is a sky blue that pulses. And he turns the knob and then lifts his ring finger and his thumb, and then he pulls out what looks to be actually a cylinder. And in this cylinder there is a bunch of documents. He quickly sifts through them and eventually pulls one out, and he hands it to you. And he says, "This right here I've been holding inside my vault in Astria, just in case if I was ever to born a son. But since I wasn't lucky to do so, I ain't got no one to pass it down to. It's a sort of a family heirloom, but it was supposed to be passed down from generation to generation to the men of the family. I was the first generation to not have a son to be born, so I feel that the tradition's broken. This right here, when you turn it into the treasury, will get you a sword. A sword that was said to be held by a very, very influential captain in my bloodline, way back. I'm talking way back. Back when humans and the elves supposedly lived together. The sword is imbued with magic. Can cut through things and it stays sharp. You don't ever need to use a whetstone on it. It's encrusted with jewels. It's worth a small fortune.
That that's very kind of you, Lord Green. I suppose I'm a little lost. Why are you imparting this gift upon me?
Well, you saved my wife and my family. And I won't be able to thank you enough for it. So I'm giving you this to share with your friend, Dylan.
Well, thank you very much for this kind gesture, Lord. I'm absolutely certain that Dylan and I will appreciate it.
He then hands it to you and then puts the cylinder back and excuse me. He says, "All right, you could be so kindly to help me up to the dining room and possibly get someone to get my wife and my daughter back into the house so they can sleep inside."
Yes, of course, Lord Green. And I help him to his feet and up the stairs. And I would be absolutely glad to go and retrieve your Bethany and your wife for you. Would you like me to send them to your room, or just help them back into the house?
You can, he says, you've already done enough. You can just get one of my workers to do it.
I have a question.
Yes, sir?
Where is his daughter?
His daughter is in the cellar of the barn, where her mother is.
Okay.
Very well, Lord Green. I will retrieve one of your employees to fetch your wife and daughter.
He nods. And you set him in his chair in the dining room, and you leave his manor. You can go out to the laborer's barn, in which all the laborers are sleeping. Which, if you wish, you can kindly wake one of them up. They're a little grumpy, but when you say that Lord Green wants you to escort his daughter and his wife back into the manor, at first he was kind of like, oh, like something happened, and then when he hears you say his wife, he kind of just raises a brow, like, and then he just kind of narrows his eyes on you, and he goes, and he says, he says, You want me to bring his wife? From the grave?
No, sir, you're mistaken. She is alive, but she's been gone for a while. But she's back now.
Listen here,
Question for
stranger, you
DM.
just woke me up from my sleep.
A question for the DM.
Yes?
Isn't there still dry blood down there?
In the second, it's in the secondary room behind a closed
okay.
door.
Did I see Lord Green and Joan go up to the dining room?
Did you go with them?
No.
Then no.
Okay. That's all I wanted to know.
So you was gonna wake me up for this stupid prank of yours? This ain't funny.
I'm sorry, sir, but I absolutely promise you, if you do this task for me, you will be pleasantly surprised that I am not lying.
Give me a persuasion check.
You would.
Oh. Oh my goodness. Okay, wow.
Working made it really good.
You rolled high, but so did you. He goes, I swear, if this is just a stupid joke.
I will pay you handsomely if you do not find Lord Green's wife.
You capital folk, it's always about the money, and it's always about playing tricks and those workers, and hey, you capital folk are something else. And
I just turn and let him go.
he walks out, and you guys see there's a dirtied worker who's extremely tired, who's just kind of slowly walking, and he just kind of looks at all of you and raises up a hand, says good morning, and then he stops. And he slowly looks behind him and sees the bear. And he just kind of raises a brow and is just like, this is why I need my damn sleep. And then he goes into the barn. So, you do see that when he comes out, he's very ecstatic that Lord Green's wife is alive, and they're both extremely sleepy. And now that you see the woman alive, you see that even though she looks still extremely tired, this woman has this youthful beauty to her that is unmatched. Callan, you even feel, being one that has seen the princess before, you even feel that this woman's beauty may even, like, rival the princess's beauty. And the princess is known to be the most attractive woman in all of Astria. But now you feel you have just found a contender to go against her.
Oh man.
Let's hope the princess doesn't find out.
I'm gonna walk over and hold out my hand and says, "Milady."
Oh, and who are you?
The name is Kellen. And you what may be?
My name is Rosemary. Rosemary Green.
Good to meet you, Rosemary.
Rosemary.
Is that not what I said?
You said Rosemary. It's Rosemary.
Oh,
Rosemary.
sorry, madam.
It's alright. A lot of people get it wrong.
has she put her hand out or no?
Yeah, she'll put her hand out.
Callan takes her by the hand and then softly kisses the back of her hand as a gesture of goodwill, and then releases her hand and backs away slowly, and then does a bow.
She smiles and she looks down at Bethany, and she says, I hope your father is just as much as a gentleman as he used to be. She says jokingly, and she goes, Bethany says, well, to be honest, Ma, father has been, well, kind of turned into a rough man ever since you died, she says with air quotes, symbolizing air quotes with her fingers. And Rosemary just nods, and the labor worker goes, well, madam, should we go inside? He's waiting for you.
Hello.
Hello. And
Andrew, we can't hear you.
what?
Well, I can't hear you.
I can't hear him either.
What?
Neither can I.
What?
Oh, hi.
Hello.
Yeah, now I can hear you.
What did I stop at?
I heard you
After
stopped at.
Bethany started talking.
But where was that?
It was like she was like, ever since you were like, got turned to a bear, he's been kind of turned into more of a rough person.
Oh, Rosemary just nods, and the labor worker had said, "Shall we go meet him?" And she goes, yes, but first I'd like to thank my saviors. Which one is this Joan and what was his name? Matthias? It's Matthew, mother.
Dylan.
No, Daniel.
Dylan.
Fuck. Son of a
Dylan.
gun. I knew it was gonna
Dylan.
happen. I knew it was gonna happen. I knew it was going to happen. I was like, one of these days, I'm gonna mix up his names because both of them are perfectly normal modern names. And where is this, what was his name? Dillianus. Is that what his name was? No,
Sounds about right.
no, Ma, his name's Dylan. Oh, Dylan, yes. Where is this Dylan? And Joan?
He's the idiot crying over the bear.
He's just, you're like,
Well, this-
you're like cradled into a ball going, Winnie the Pooh, Winnie the Pooh, cuddly, cuddly little old stuff with fluff. He's Winnie the Pooh, Winnie the Pooh, willy nilly silly old.
All seriousness though, I've probably calmed down by this point.
Yeah.
I'm just standing by the bear cage.
Just holding his hand, just like, you're gonna be alright.
It's alright. It's okay. So
If you're really that worried about a bear, I could heal him if you wanted to, but I see no
Please
point.
don't. Wake him up. Please don't.
Joan is sitting with Charlie.
okay.
I'm just like, I'm assuming I'm like near Marvell.
Yeah.
I'm just like talking with Marvell, just like, I wish there was a way we could like apologize to him in like a way that he would understand.
I could attempt at some point, but he'll need to be awake for it.
So you guys hear the sound of soft feet coming towards you, and your attention is brought to the beautiful Rosemary, and she approaches you, Dylan, or Dillianon,
Ooh.
Dillion,
Dillianus.
Dillianus, and she says, "Excuse me, Are you, Dylan?
Yes, ma'am. Dylan Mordecai, at your service.
Dylan Mordecai. Relations at all?
It's more of a choice than a relation.
I see. Well, if you choose to have the last name of Mordecai, then you must have some ties of the arcanic arts, no?
Yes, I graduated not too long ago from that prestigious academy.
Well, it's very obvious for your work in doing this ritual that Bethany had told me about, that had saved my life. And I wish to reward you with something. You don't have to accept it.
I'm trying to figure out the polite, whatever reward it is. I mean, it would be very rude to not accept the gift of a lady of such nobleness as yourself.
I suppose, but I did tell you that you could refuse it. So don't feel that you would be an offense to me. Just don't tell my husband.
Done.
She says, if, you will follow me. Bethany, dear, will you go meet your father and just tell him that, I'm speaking with, Dilionitis.
She made it longer.
Ma, it's Dylan. Oh, yes,
Oh,
sorry,
wow. Lovely.
my memory is still fogged from...
Can you imagine, like, introducing yourself that, hi, my name's Dylan, that's short for Dilionitis?
Dilionitis. Hello, my name is Dylan. Short for Dilionitis. Hi! I'm looking...
Dilly dalliance.
My name is Dilly Dally. So, she will go with the laborer into the house, and you see that Rosemary starts walking off.
I follow Rosemary very curiously.
So Joan, you see Rosemary is escorting Dylan off to the distance, off into towards the fields. Everyone does.
All right.
Okay.
Oh.
This
I have a
is how rumors get started.
I wish to reward
Hey,
you.
hey, Lord Green took me to a basement.
Oh, ooh, drama.
I have
D&D
one
is Dungeons
question.
and Drama, don't you know? What's up, Zach?
Is Charlie anywhere nearby?
Yeah, he's by his campfire and caravan wagon that you guys loaded, or that Leon loaded the bear up in, and he's kind of just sitting up against a log that they rolled up from firewood.
All right, I'm gonna walk over to him then, but I'll wait until after you sort this out real quick. So.
Okay. Does anyone else want to do anything before we pan over to Dilionitis and Rosemary? Okay.
Leon's just like very nervously, just making sure that the bear stays down in the caravan, like trying not to overhear the conversation.
The bear pulls out some lock picks and like starts picking the lock.
Don't worry, I'm coming, Boo-Boo. He can't handle me.
Do a pat down on the bear.
5 years in a zoo. Alright, so, Dylan, you are escorted probably about maybe over a half a mile, quite a distance away, to where the house, the barn, the laborers' bunkhouse is like little figurines to you. And she stops, and there's a little bit of a slight breeze that kind of picks up, and you're in the part of Lord Green's land where it's basically just like tall grass that goes just up to your knees, and the grass, the blades of grass dance around, looking like a green ocean, and you see Rosemary's blonde hair, like tendrils, just also go with the wind, and she just closes her eyes and she looks up at the sun and she says, "Ever since I was a girl, I was always fascinated by the mystical beasts that had come out of the green gates. Have you ever studied any of them?"
A few.
There was one particular creature that came from the Feywild that I was particularly fascinated with. Unfortunately, no matter how much money my father had, he could not buy one of these, so he always settled for the next best thing. He bought me horses. Then, one day, while I was pregnant with my daughter, my husband gave me a gift to celebrate
A unicorn horn.
the birthing of our child. For you see, we've had many miscarriages in our relationship. We were lucky that Soul had decided to give me the gift of life. Ever since then, my husband has been very protective of her, which I apologize for any rude behavior he's bestowed upon you.
That's okay. I'm used to it.
Yes, I suppose some of your professors may be strict. Magic is a very dangerous subject. Anyways, this gift that my husband had brought to me was this very creature from the Feywild. The only problem is, there's only one way to call it, and I'm going to teach you how to do so. What you need to do
Oh,
is you need to say the name of the creature, but you mustn't tell anyone else of its name. For anyone that calls its name, it will go to it. It will obey by their every command. So you must be careful on who you share this name with.
I will certainly do so.
She then lowers her head away from the sunlight, and she turns to you, and she says, and she approaches you and gets inches away from you, and she leans forward and whispers in your ear, "Peppermint." And then she stands up straight.
Um, so all I have to say to summon that creature is to say what you just told me?
She nods.
How loud do I have to say it?
She says, it has to be, it can't be a whisper, but it doesn't have to be a shout.
Okay. I guess I'll just try it.
I will say this. He has a very... I'll let you see for yourself.
Okay, that's not foreboding.
And you see
Uh,
that she kind of takes, like, a few big steps back away from you. Like, she gets, like, 15 feet away from you.
okay.
And she just smiles.
This was the last. That was the last we ever saw, Dylan. I just like clear my throat and just say peppermint.
You say those words, and the only thing that you hear is the slight breeze breaking what would be silence. And you're expecting something extravagant to happen. And you look over at Rosemary, and Rosemary just is still looking at you with this smile on her face, like everything is gonna be all right. And then you hear in your head, all right, what you call me for?
It's Charlie. Joking.
I look around like to see what's like talking.
When you turn, immediately behind you, you see a pure white warhorse. Its mane glitters as if it has golden sparkles in it, but its mane is also white as well. And it stares at you with ebony eyes. Just these dark black ebony eyes. And in your head, as you turn and you sort of jump from being surprised as this horse just came out of nowhere, it says, "Come on, you said my name."
Are you?
Come on, spit it
My
out.
name is Dylan. Uh, if you don't mind me asking, what type of creature are you?
You see that it just kind of like makes an arc with its head as if to suggest it's like almost like a movement of rolling its eyes, and it says, "You humans, so ignorant and blinded." He says, "That doesn't matter to you.
Okay.
Now, do you have someone you need to be?"
I mean, do you want to just like hang out? You know,
No, not really.
I mean, do you have someplace you need to be?
Yeah, no, let me think on that. He just kind of stands there for a few long, drawn-out moments. And it is at this point that Rosemary approaches you, and he snaps out of his this little ruse he was doing, this little sarcasm bit he was doing, and she says, "Good morning, Peppermint. I see you are still just as handsome as I last saw you." And you see that the horse bows and he goes, "My lady, I thought I would never see your face again. I figured that it was your husband that had summoned me." She then looks at you, Dylan, and she says, Peppermint, this right here is my dear friend Dylan. He had performed a powerful ritual that allows me to control this curse that I had, and was the reason why that I was away for so many years. I told him your name because I felt that it was a way for me to pay my debt to him. And you see that he stands up and he says, so you're paying him by having me do a lot of work, by being his slave. And she goes, well, I didn't exactly think of it that way. It was more of, I'm relieving you of services for me and my family, and having him be in charge of you from here on out. Well, I suppose, madam, but you do realize that as long as you still know my name, you can still take control. Oh, don't worry, Peppermint. We will no longer, we'll find a way. I'm sure that my husband can buy something that can give us, amnesia. Or something. We have money, dear. We'll figure it out. And,
A good slap to the face with Callan's mace probably will do it.
Red swords seem to work fine.
The horse looks at you, Dylan, and says, and just kind of stares at you, and then looks back at Rosemary and says, and what happens if he misuses me? If he abuses me? Or possibly gets me killed? And Rosemary looks at you, Dylan.
I promise that I won't do those things.
And there you have it. He won't. He promises not to kill you. But that doesn't actually mean he won't. Look at him. If we got robbed, he'd probably be scared and run away and leave me to be nothing but but horseradish.
Poor horseradish.
Well, I don't believe that. You wouldn't do that, would you, Dylan?
I might not be the most. I may not be the most physically fit person in the world, but I wouldn't run away from a fight if I had to leave my friends behind.
Well, I suppose, but as long as you don't do those things, and as long as you don't hand out my summon name to everyone that you know, then we won't have a problem.
Note to self: do not tattoo it to your forehead. So obviously I can't call you by your summon name while we're around other people unless you want them to know the name. But is there something else I can call you?
Let's see. I've always liked... Nathaniel. I've always found that was a good human name.
Well, Nathaniel it is.
Great, then it is settled. You two are now bounded partners. And Nathaniel says, we still have to do one more thing, remember? Oh, yes, that's right. Dylan, do you know how to go on horseback? I suppose I should have asked this before I How'd you meet him?
I mean, I have ridden on the back of a horse before.
Good. Well, in that case, and you see that he bows his head and dips between your legs, and essentially forces you to mount upon its back. And
Does it have a saddle?
yes, you see that actually when he kind of like
Oh,
lifts you in the air, a saddle just materializes onto his back. And he says, "All right, Dylan. I sure hope you can hold on." And
are there reins to hold on to?
yes,
Okay, I just lightly hold the reins.
you see that he goes into a trot, and then a gallop, and then a full sprint. And as he does, you see it's almost like you go into hyperspace. Everything just turns into a solid image at first and kind of stretches out, it seems. And you're just like put into this like strange tunnel of like colors and different light and strange little particles as he's galloping, and it's almost as if the world around you no longer exists and you're a part of something completely something else. And eventually, in like a split second, you go from like the quarter mile from Lord Green's mansion to being all the way to the gates, which you know is easily on foot is at least like over an hour trip. And he just did this in like a few seconds.
Wow.
And he says, and he goes, "You still on there?"
Yeah, I'm still here.
Oh, bugger. All right,
Wait a minute.
you passed the test. Me and you are now officially bonded.
Oh, that's great. I have a question. What would have happened if I fell off you while we were going through that light tunnel thing?
Well, I'm not exactly sure how much your independent studies in the arcanic arcs of a human is, but what we just went through is what is called the realm of stars. And the realm of stars is a realm that connects us to all these different kinds of planes of existence. And essentially what I had just did was opened a door into the plane of stars and then opened another one back into this plane.
That is very impressive. How far can you go with that?
I can take you anywhere you'd like. Any place that any place that I would know.
Like, are we just limited to this plane of existence, or could you go to planes beyond?
I can go only to this plane. Or to my
Okay.
native plane as well.
Um, how strong are you as a horse? How many people could you carry?
Well, I'd rather not carry more than one, but I suppose maybe 2, 3 of your weight?
Okay. Just to make. I mean, I could always find other ways to assure to make it easier on you. Could you, if it's not too much trouble, could you take me back to, um, Lady Green?
Yes, but I will have you know. This gift of mine, I do have limitations on it.
Right.
I'm afraid I'm only blessed to do this at least once per day. That is as much magic I can pull through the web without exhausting my body past its limits.
So we have to go ride back to her on foot?
Yes. Which I am your humble servant, so I have no choice but to obey you if you wish for me to take you back.
I would greatly appreciate it.
Well, I'm sure you would. Alright, mount on.
I don't remember getting off.
Oh. I guess I kind of imagine that you fallen off for some odd reason. Honestly, sometimes I forget that you're even there.
Oof.
Beginning of a beautiful friendship.
Yes, about
You've
as
just been called a
beautiful as
lightweight.
my stool. And then he begins to trot. So the rest of you, at camp. Oh, go ahead.
So I was just gonna ask Nathaniel how old he was.
Well, let's see. Ever since they had given me the intellect and blessed me with this gift, I'd say, boy, at least a millennia. At least.
Wow. Who's they?
He says, oh, just the people who had given me all these gifts of intelligence and telepathy and teleportation.
Oh, okay.
So, the rest of you who are back near Charlie's camp, around this time, it takes about a few minutes, and eventually you see that Mrs. Green does come back without Dylan.
She killed Dylan.
What about me and Charlie? I did ask about that. Me and him have a little bit of a wee
Oh,
chat.
yes. Well, yes, we will do that.
Alright.
What do you say to Charlie?
So, I have a few questions. You traveled the lands pretty far and wide.
Aye.
Have you ever heard of what is it? The arsonist, I think it was. Yes, the arsonist.
Well, of course I've had. Who hasn't heard the legends of the arsonist?
Do you happen to know where I might find this arsonist?
Well, I suppose if I did, that I'd also can tell you where you can find a ferry.
Oh, how do you say that?
Fancy way.
Well, because I don't think the arsonists actually exist. I think that was just a ploy for the king. To make the commoners scared. You see, I believe what actually happened was the people over at Longbeard's Hill accidentally burnt one of their collections of our history, and the king was too embarrassed, so he hid it behind a legend.
I see.
But don't tell my boys that.
I see. So, why are you so hard on your boys, as I should call them?
Well, they're, for a better lack of words, and I have a lot of words. They're a bunch of shates, and they also remind me of me. And don't get me wrong, I love my life, but I want to see my boys succeed. I want to see them make lots of money, but hardly work at all, if you know what I mean.
Uh,
But I know that it
so
takes
basically the life of a peddler.
of a peddler, no, but I want them to have a good judge of character. I want them to be good boys. And maybe even possibly get them into the College of Mordecai, or to the College of the Musical Arts over at Seaport.
One of our own, I'm pretty sure, came from there.
I kind of imagined Dylan seems like the type of musician who came from at least the Bartic one.
Yeah. I've traveled the lands far and wide, as you could tell. Or I wouldn't be wearing all this thick armor. And then I just moved my cape out of the way a little bit to reveal my chainmail.
Aye. A man who's never walked before could put armor on and say that he's travelled. What you really need are these. And you see that he pulls up the back of his shirt and you see scars all over. And he pulls his shirt back down. Now that is how you prove you've been around a few places.
Sure. We could say that. Have you ever heard of the goddess of Luna, correct?
Well, of course I have.
What's your thoughts on her?
Oh, I'd say just about anybody, really.
Do you really think the story of the elves are true?
The story of the elves?
Yeah. That she was actually born from Luna.
I don't know. I haven't seen enough proof that elves even exist.
I see.
To be honest with ya, I kind of feel that that's another ploy of the king to make us all mystified. You see, I think what actually is happening is he's doing all these experiments with the Council of Sages, and he's saying, "Oh, this is the work of the elves, and this is all for the research of our kind." But I don't think that's true.
Hmm. And what god do you so happen to be following? My final and last question.
I prefer to go with Ariel.
Who?
Ariel.
Ah, yes, the goddess of mermaids.
He just wants to be a part of our world.
I'm not that.
So,
Don't ruin my lore.
Sorry.
I don't know. You just. What's our goddess of? I'm not sure which.
So there's Sol, who is the god of light, life. He's the god of light, life. Oh shoot, the last one's going blank on me.
Brotherhood?
Healing?
Yes, I believe it's Brotherhood.
I got you.
And then there is
Yeah, all the
Luna.
good things.
Then there's Luna, who is the goddess of envy, magic, and oh my god,
Monsters?
no,
Yes.
Sailor Moon.
I don't think that's quite it.
And then there's Ariel,
Deception.
who
Okay.
is the goddess of motherhood and fertility. She's also sort of known, not really as a goddess of the hunt, but she is since Sol is the one that had created life. He sees it that all life should be preserved. However, Ariel knows that there are some things, like some creatures, that need the flesh of other creatures to live. So she is the firm believer that sometimes death is necessary. Oh, Luna's also, I believe, the goddess of death.
So is it just those three?
Yes. So usually, like hunters and they'll usually like to follow the teachings of Ariel, being like, oh, we're not killing life because we're bad people. We're killing life because we need to survive.
What's Ariel's stance on putting bears in cages?
Probably has no comment. Ariel is a very neutral god, because she's seen as the type of goddess who essentially is in the middle of the antics of Sol and Luna, and is actually part of the reason why that the sun and the moon are practically, like, most of the time they're never seen at the same time. Because Ariel separated them so that they could not fight and hurt each other. That's like the in religion lore. So she's always kind of seen as the middle ground, like a mother.
So it's just those three gods. There's not the fourth god, Dingus, who just fight with popcorn.
No.
Callan looks at Charlie for a little bit. Any questions for me? Since you took the prestige of answering my questions, how about you ask me some questions? Maybe we can get on a little bit of a better ground than what happened last time.
I suppose, but if you're going with Joan and God, what's his name? Dylan. If you're gonna go with them, we've got lots of time for catching up and the whatnot. I think right now we need to get on the road. We need to get home.
That's true. Well, very well then.
I have a question out of character.
Yes, sir.
Is peppermint not an herb or thing? It's not like a. Is that not a thing in this universe?
Peppermint's an herb in real life, so I'm gonna guess peppermint could technically be an herb in D&D, but you know.
It is.
There's also peppermint candies.
So do you have to?
Well, yeah, but that's used by from peppermint, though. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that's why it's called peppermint candies.
So do you have to like say the word, but also know that it's the true name of a magical creature for it to actually work? Like you could, like some random Joe can't go to the store. Like, yes, can I get some peppermint candies? And some horse would show up right behind. Like, what the fuck do you want?
Oh, what the fuck? Or what the
Coming to me?
frick to our young audience.
Just yes, can I get what flavor of latte do you want?
I want
peppermint. And just like crashes the door. Like you rang.
He just goes, what kind of flavor would you like? I would like peppermint. What? I didn't quite hear you.
Alright, sorry.
Peppermint. What? Say that again? I said peppermint. You want
Liam
You
writes
want-
down a piece of
you
paper.
want Femberdent? I said I want peppermint. Oh, you want No, don't say it. Peppermint. Just falls on top of the cashier.
Just crashes out of the
Crushes her.
ceiling.
He just goes. All right.
No
What do you want
witnesses.
now? Oh dear, it seems that I've landed on top of one of your kin. Anyways, Dylan, you can ask
Oh, you know,
Nathaniel.
So if you can only teleport once per day, how did you show up in the field and then automatically that time warp
Oh.
thing with me not 10 minutes later?
Well, if you had possibly done your research, that's the difference between
Ouch.
teleportation and summoning.
Getting a lot of sass from this horse.
You conjured,
Always.
essentially.
What's the weirdest place that you've been summoned?
Okay.
I think the weirdest
Blood on
place
Hell's
that I was summoned. Oh dear, you just brought back a really nasty memory inside of my head. I spent centuries trying to get rid of it.
Bring out this horse, this PTSD.
Oh, the horror. Oh, the agony. All I can remember is a man wrapped in binds and the woman lashing at him like he was like she was turning him into string cheese, and he was screaming for more and more, but it just would not go away. And then she wanted me to stomp on him, and oh my lord, it was the worst ever. And you can tell that he's being very sarcastic
yeah, that-
about it.
Oh, I thought he was being serious for a second.
No.
Like, have you ever been summoned inside a hospital before?
A hospital.
Yeah, a hospital.
What is a hospital?
It's a place where normal mortals go for healing in large cities.
Need healing.
Did someone call?
He says, I've never been. Normally, people who have summoned me don't summon me indoors.
Have you ever been summoned indoors?
A few times.
Doesn't sound like you liked it.
I mean, it would be kind of weird, like if you were in if you were like in a hospital and like suddenly there's a horse like loose in the hospital.
That could cause some concern.
Does anybody get this reference?
Summoning a horse in a hospital.
Nobody?
Sounds like someone's horsing
There's
her
a
out.
horse loose in the hospital.
Nope.
None of you have seen the comedian John Mulaney?
No.
Nope.
Oh.
Wah, wah.
Sadly.
It's
It's on Netflix if you ever want to watch it. It's really funny. He's a really funny guy.
I want
Nice.
to watch.
Okay. Anyway, that's my last question for Nathaniel for a while.
So you're not gonna ask him about the peppermint thing?
I mean, I'm just gonna assume that you have to actually like know what you're doing. You can't just like say, because I don't think you can accidentally summon something. You have to like actually know what you're doing.
That's a safe assumption.
The horse make.
Why not?
Like, hey, I feel like if I ask him like something, it's like, oh, obviously your education was not up to par. Any moron would know that blah 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 blah. And I'm like, I did not wake up. It's like I did not wake up this morning to be degraded by a horse named Peppermint.
All right. So eventually, the rest of you see that well, Joan, probably we'll say Joan is the first one to see this, with her, I believe, since she has the highest passive perception.
Absolutely.
Look,
She has 14. She's amazing.
Oh.
Joan, you see that Dylan is coming back riding horseback on a beautifully pure white horse, with the exception with a like a black nose and lips, and pitch black ebony eyes, and it just slowly approaches. And Dylan, you hear Nathaniel say, "So, are these your friends?"
yes, that is Joan. That is Kaylin. That is Marvell. And that is Charlie.
Leon.
And Leon. Do I not know your real name yet?
No.
Because he gave you a fake name.
That is Leon. And that is Charlie's wife, Bethany, and his two sons, whose names escape me.
Ah.
Do I know his kids' names?
You have
That's gonna
heard
be
it.
really awkward.
Honestly, I wrote it down, but I lost it a long time ago.
Oh, you're gonna make me go find my notes.
Nameless kid.
Oh, I'll find
Fred
those
and
in a bit.
George.
Oh no, we're not doing that.
It was
I'm out.
they both started with C, I'm pretty sure.
Colin? Was Colin one of them?
No.
No.
Corey.
Okay, got it.
Hello?
Charlie and Dylan? No, that's you guys. Oh, Charlie. Hold on.
I think their names are
Craig
Charlie
and
Dylan.
Creed.
Was it?
Crag and Creed?
Yeah, Craig and Creed.
Craig and Creed.
This. Wait, Crag or Craig?
Craig.
Okay.
Sorry,
I was about to
just
say-
wrote it down.
Like what a-holes like, I want my sons to be successful, and then goes names one Crag.
Mountains are very
The world is
successful.
your oyster, Crag.
At least he has a very solid
like it.
foundation.
Yeah.
I like as I'm walking back and my friends see me, and I'm like, hey Joan, like on a scale of 1 to 10, how much more attractive does being on this horse make me?
How much more attractive?
Yes.
You look.
The horse is
oh,
quite attractive.
Sorry. I thought you were talking to me. I was like, I don't know.
Like, if I walk down the street, like just imagine you don't know me and like what a mess I am in general. Like just walking down the street, well, trotting along on this horse. Would you like think that guy knows what he's doing?
Nathaniel,
I might.
Nathaniel, in your head says, "No, what I would think is, oh boy, look, it's another one of these prissy boys, probably going to say and do whatever he pleases, whatever he likes.
Wow.
Anything
favorite
but a
character by
true man. But the horse, however,
This horse is
the
savage.
horse is the most handsomest creature ever to be bestowed upon this land of humans."
I think we
I'm
found a mascot.
Can
Can he like think like can I can he hear me when I like can I be telepathic with him in return?
Oh yeah, that's how you guys have been talking the whole time.
Oh, I'm like thinking to myself, yeah, you know what the greatest attribute of horses are? They don't have fucking telepathy.
He goes, he says, "Oh yeah, you want to talk about who has what and who doesn't?"
I've been really nice to you this entire day, and I just feel like you can meet me halfway here.
Meet you halfway. We'll see.
Stella's just sitting on the horse looking really upset.
He said, "Listen, I
Peppermint.
carried your mortal rear end all the way over here, 2 miles. If that's not half.
Well, to be fair, you could have just teleported. You could have just teleported me towards the house. We wouldn't have had to walk all that way. I still would have believed your power.
No, because if something happened, I didn't want to possibly create a tear in the rift and destroy everything around in the area."
Have
Peppermint.
you ever
the
done that
destroyer
before?
of Dylan's world.
He says, "No."
For like out of character, I feel like Pepper's making up stuff because he realizes I caught him.
You could make an insight on him.
This is Nathaniel.
Insight check the horse.
Anyway.
So, Joan and Marvell, I want
Mhm.
both of you to give me deception checks.
What? Oh, I see.
As... Oh no.
Hey, to be fair, I haven't said anything to the horse. I'm just sitting here.
So,
No.
Dylan, you hear Nathaniel talking to himself in his head saying, "Wait a second. These two look familiar."
And then Leon just starts dancing, joking.
Leon just kills my horse. Like he knows he's onto him.
He goes, "We've been had!"
Get her!
Arrow appears out of the side of his neck.
I know these two. Ah, no, Nathaniel! No!
Good news, Nathaniel's smarter than that, and he didn't say anything.
Dylan, I always hated you.
I'm and she's just dying like I love you too. As I hear Nathaniel like saying that, I was like, "Oh, do you recognize my friends?"
He says... he doesn't say anything, actually.
Oh, good. Thank you. The
He
horse
didn't
doesn't
say
blow
anything?
No.
Need to get a treat now. Let's write that down.
And Joan and Marvell, I want both of you guys to either give me a Arcana, Nature, or History. One of those 3. Whichever one is better for you.
That's so kind of you.
So nice.
History. You recognize this horse from like a famous painting, just stomping on somebody.
All of them suck for me, so it doesn't really matter.
Mine are 3, 3, and 1.
Joan, you're not rolling very good today.
No. Except for punching that bear.
Yeah, apparently your destiny in this session was to punch Yogi right in the
Do it.
nose.
No.
All right, so Marvel,
I mean, a 14's pretty good.
as you're looking at this horse and you're petting it and you're examining its beauty, something clicks in your head.
Yes.
You know, I mean, your specialty has been bears and whatnot, but you know for how long you've been around that
Been a lot.
this is a horse that is definitely from the Feywild.
Do I know what exactly it is?
You know that it is a creature called a Menare. A Menare is it is a Fey type creature that was made by your kin a long time ago. Using the mysterious properties of the Feywilds and merging them into a horse, your people have created a new species of horse that allows it to, like some Fey creatures, be able to teleport and also be summoned. They were also innately, when they are first born, they aren't given the gift of intellect, but if raised and tamed by one who knows how to, will have a spell casted upon it that will allow it to telepathically be able to communicate in any language that its summoner knows.
Leah's just like, interesting horse you have there.
Yes. It was a gift from Lady Green.
Nathaniel then says in your head, Dylan, "So, are you done with me for now?"
Sure.
Alright. Dismount.
I get off the horse.
It then looks at you and says, "Now remember, don't tell anyone." And then you guys see the horse just walks off.
Seems reasonable.
I look at
Just
my.
raises an eyebrow.
He needs some meat.
The horse eats meat.
No, the horse needs some me time.
I thought you said meat too, but I was like, nah, he didn't say that.
Yeah.
You hear a cow cry out in pain.
That was the thing I did the whole time. It was the horse. Kill it!
Oh, mistakes were made.
Mistakes were made. Innocent man killed. Good job, team. We'll get him next time. So, everyone's back together. Charlie has his everything's packed up essentially at this point, and he asks that. Well, he tells you that he's ready to leave whenever you guys are.
Okay. Hey Joan, did you get the payment from Lord Green?
Yes, I think so. I'll have to give you your share later.
Are you guys coming with us, Leon and Halen?
Might as well.
Hooray! Also, what happened to that cleric we came with?
What cleric?
He was never heard from again.
Werewolf got to him.
What cleric?
Yeah, I was gonna say. I don't know. Did you watch the update video?
Yeah,
No.
apparently not because he.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah.
In the
They
update
were-
video, it basically what, at least what I don't know if I told everyone else, but essentially what's happening is that the cleric and the other PC, both of those guys are retconned.
He was a sorcerer.
They're retconned, so they just are wiped from the campaign.
Like Chuck Cunningham. They never existed.
Exactly. They never existed.
Like we get back to the things like, wait, why are there 3 signatures on this paper?
Oh no. Then your memories start to come back. We've been trying to hide the secret from you for so long. And that is where we will end tonight's session.
Oh, lovely. Yay.
So,
Do we?
a lot more roleplay with getting rewards than I was kind of expecting. But still, some pretty good roleplay. Matt, I will send you the info that you need to know about Nathaniel, at least kind of like the more in detail on how to use them.
Does he need the food? He need food to survive?
No,
Does he like food?
you don't know. You haven't asked him yet.
How do I make him love me?
We'll have to find
Give
out
him peppermint.
next time
Candy.
on Rollback Sunday.
I was really hoping I would get to name him because my go-to horse name is always Sugar Cube.
It's too similar to Peppermint, really.
Oh.
It really is.
There's not a single syllable that they share.
Yeah, but they're both like sweet things, flavor things, you know.
What,
Yeah.
Just can't do it.
what's the
They're
opposite
both
of
herbs
peppermint?
technically, so.
The opposite of peppermint? Chocolate?
Yeah,
I don't know if those are
Poison.
opposites.
that'd be a weird name for a white horse. Chocolate.
Poison.
Call it white lightning.
You've only ever seen white chocolate. Hey.
What do you call this white horse? Heroin.
Whew.
What do you call this white noble steed? I call him White Lightning. That'd be pretty cool.
Wind.
So can he only telepathically communicate with me?
As far as you can tell, yes.
I'm the only one. Like, you're such a great hero. 10 years from now when we're all legend and having talk show interviews, because that'll be a thing in 10 years. The people are like, and they'll be like, tell us, Dylan, how after doing so many heroic deeds and being this national icon, do you still stay so humbled? And I was gonna say, my horse.
My horse keeps me in check. Damn right I keep you in check, you little buffoon.
you little, you,
Sounds about right.
You're mine.
oh, you saved the orphans. Oh, yes, because everybody cares about the orphans.
Oh, yes, because clearly we care about the orphans. The parents
How did
couldn't
you kill-
give a damn.
I'm kind of glad that my sleight of hand worked, but I'll probably not have as much luck next time.
Maybe not. We'll have to see
Probably, and it's best to
next
get it out
time
in the
on
open.
Rollback Sunday.
We all have secrets. We all have secrets we're trying to hide. Leon's not really Leon. It's-
What?
Leon's not actually Leon. It's not his actual name.
Jones not really Jones.
Jones actually an elf.
We
Well,
still
I
don't know
mean-
if it's confirmed as Joan a male or a female.
She said Callan has some. Yeah, Callan has some religion, and Dylan's horse can talk to him and just put him down constantly.
Dude, you
Yeah,
wanna...
all secrets now.
Dude, talk about vicious mockery.
No, right?
Where do you learn all your insults from?
Yeah, so Dylan, we've heard about your masterful insults. Where do you hear them from? Well, his maggot little mind certainly didn't get it from himself.
Oh, it just comes to me whether I want them to or not.
Oh, I get inspiration. I get put down a lot, so I just kind of turn that anger and depression into it. Oh, boo freaking who? Cry me a river. Boo freaking who?
Just one of these days, I'm gonna turn him into glue.
Turn him into
Just one
glue.
of these days.
He's just like, you summon him and like, you summon him and he's just like, he's just like, okay, what do you want from me now? Please,
I want glue.
have a seat over there. Oh, it's about time you asked me for something else other than to do labor for you. Yes. You just sit there and relax,
Yes.
little horsey.
And Charlie has no idea what he just did to Leon. Because now he's just gonna be brutally honest to everything.
What about Charlie?
You know when Charlie got upset with him because he was he lied? Now he's gonna be brutally honest about everything. Cause it's like, oh, these people don't like it when I try to help them, so you know.
Okay,
Oh, okay.
Don't hold us all to the same standard as Charlie.
Yeah, Charlie don't have a lot of standards.
I'm sorry, but can we as every time we go through that portal, that song plays look at my horse is amazing.
Yes!
Yes.
Oh, it's
Yes.
amazing. Alright, I gotta end the video, so let's all say goodbye to the lovely folks who watch.
Bye.
Bye, lovely people.
Bye. But before we go, remember, emotional abuse done by a horse might be funny. Some people, it's a very serious issue. If your horse is being emotionally abusive to you, seek out a counselor for help.
Get help. Get help. Please, especially medical help, because obviously if you're hearing a horse talking to you, that's your first problem.
And also, while you're at it, buy some McDonald's.
Oh god, yes. Get some help.
Don't forget,
we don't.
peppermint is
Get some
best.
help. Stop it. Get some help.
Stop it.
Alright. Bye everybody.
Bye.